Global NCAP's Safer Cars for India program began almost a decade ago. Since then, more than 60 cars that have been manufactured in India have been crash tested right here by Global NCAP at the ADAC lab in Landsberg outside Munich in Germany. We have come a long way since then in terms of just the changes we are seeing for those cars that are made in India. And also, let's not forget, it was in June last year that a new, more strict protocol was introduced for this program, which means scoring 4 or 5 stars just got tougher last year.
The list now expands with 4 cars being crash tested in the latest round. The Maruti Suzuki Alto K10, the WagonR, and the twin compact sedans from the Volkswagen Group, the Skoda Slavia and the VW Virtus. Maruti Suzuki's dismal performance continues. Sadly, the Alto K10 scored 2 stars while the WagonR received just 1 star for adult occupant protection. As is the norm, it is the base variant of both the cars that were tested, and both do get dual airbags and ABS as standard. The Alto K10 is the new generation car. It scored 21.67 out of a possible 34 points in adult occupant safety and just 3.5 out of a possible 49 for child occupant safety. The footwell area of the car was deemed unstable, but the body shell has been rated as stable, which is a big thumbs up for a car like the Alto, given it is a small-sized entry car and shows a big improvement on its structural safety. The Alto K10 was also subjected to a side impact test, and it was observed that pelvic protection was good while abdomen protection was adequate. Chest protection was, however, weak.
Now, as you try and interpret these scores, try and also remember 2 very clear points. The first, that even these cars, the Suzuki models, have come a long way from when the crash tests first began almost a decade ago. Even the WagonR's score overall has improved. You might not think so, but remember, stricter protocol, even more requirements in terms of scoring better now as compared to the first protocol for the Made in India cars crash tests.
On the adult occupant safety, the WagonR scored 19.69 out of 34 points, while on child occupant protection it received just 3.4 of a possible 49. On the structural front, the footwell area of the WagonR and also its body shell are rated as unstable, which is bad news really. In fact, both the WagonR and Alto lost out on points because they do not have 3-point seat belts at the rear and neither offer ISOFIX child seat anchorage as standard equipment.
The other point to keep in mind, that we do have much stricter legislation already now as compared to 10 years ago. So when it comes to frontal offset crash testing, that is something that is expected by law, and that is something all these cars do comply with.
In the side impact test, the WagonR provided good protection to the head, abdomen and pelvis, while chest protection was marginal. The Skoda Auto Volkswagen India cars have done much better. Both have received a 5-star rating for adult and child protection.
So the results we are seeing on both these cars really shouldn't come as a surprise, given they use the same MQB A0iN platform as the Taigun and Kushaq, which were also crash tested right here last year, and which of course had stellar results too.
On the adult occupant safety, the Slavia and Virtus received 29.71 out of 34 points, while child occupant safety scores were 42 out of 49.
This one is the frontal offset. This, as you all know, is all about how much energy a car absorbs up front during a frontal collision. And what you're seeing here is a pretty good thing. Visually, at least, you can straight away tell most of that impact has got absorbed from up to this point forward and hasn't really traveled back into the cabin. The A-pillar, the door, they visually, like I said, look pretty good on their integrity.
The cars were also subjected to side impact and even a pole test. The side impact showed good protection for the head, chest, pelvis, and abdomen.
Now, in both the Slavia and the Virtus, you do not have 6 airbags as standard. That's only at the top end. For now, we don't have that legislation, but remember, there's been a lot of talk about how we should see some kind of a law coming in which makes 6 airbags standard. So that means the overall score for the occupant injury or potential injury would only get better once that happens.
An optional additional pole test confirmed that the optional curtain airbags meet the fitment requirements, and the pole impact test was performed in a version with side head protection airbags showing good protection to the head, abdomen and pelvis and marginal protection to the chest. Coincidentally, the Skoda Slavia also just won the 2023 Eco Drive Car of the Year honor. And this crash test result is a further endorsement of how cars can be built to Indian requirements, including budget, and yet be built safe.